Welcome to everybody out there on Facebook. I'm Ann Graham, the Executive Director of Texans for the Arts, and I'm here with my Associate Director, Chris Kiley, and we are here for our weekly Wednesday Arts Advocacy Update, a tool and resource of Texans for the Arts and Texans for the Arts Foundation to bring you timely information on what's happening regarding the arts and culture sector, in particular as it's tied to the world of arts advocacy, grassroots, grass tops, and the work that we do in the political process, the nonpartisan political process at the state, local, and national level. Speaking of the national level, I think everybody right now is incredibly distracted, and I know we're going to be talking about what we're doing at the state level. But I know we're distracted by the activity of what's happening in DC right now, very complex and dangerous behavior at the at the US Capitol, with violence and police and National Guard trying to contain it in very un-American and undemocratic behavior, and is not something at all that Texans for the Arts or the Texans for the Arts Foundation or any of us in this field support in any way, shape, or form, and are frightened by what we're seeing, and will be very cognizant and watching that and the outcome of what we hope is a safe removal of people, if not the prosecution of people who are damaging property and bringing danger to the Capitol and to their fellow human beings. So very frightening time right now. As I talk about the federal government, there was one very positive thing that came out of over a week ago Sunday when President Trump did sign the $2.3 trillion federal budget, which also contains some very important opportunities for the arts and culture sector for funding, including the COVID relief package, which included the $15 billion for the Save Our Stages. And we had a presentation 2 Wednesdays ago by Nate Magaca from Arts North Carolina, who also shared very lengthy, detailed information. If you think you are eligible for PPP, Payroll Protection Program, if you're eligible for unemployment, if you think you are part of the nonprofit or the for-profit sector that is eligible to receive funds, or you want to find out whether you are, please go to our webpage, texansforthearts.com, and click on the COVID-19 resources or relief bar, and you will find a link in there to very detailed information around those various programs that should help you ascertain whether or not you would be eligible and what steps to take. So we'll be keeping that updated, and it's important information to get out into the field. And feel free to contact us at Texans for the Arts. Our contact information is on our website, to follow up with us with any questions that you have. It's really important that these resources get used. It's a lot of money in the SOS funds. We're excited to have it, very pleased. It will go quickly because the needs are dire out there.
And to piggyback on what you were saying a little bit, Ann, all of the really amazing information that Nate McGahey provided for all of us is right on our Facebook page. If you want to click back through some of our videos, you'll be able to see that full presentation with you. And then I also want to go ahead and I threw this into a slide for everyone to look at. Oh my goodness, there it is. So you can see there's going to be your link to our website at texansforthearts.com. If you want to jump on and you want to see some of the information that was provided, we have that available to you as well. Underneath that, you'll see that we have officially opened, and has been open for a couple of weeks now, our official registration for our 2021 Arts Advocacy Summit, which is, I think, our next order of business on this Wednesday update. January 26th is going to be our first part of the event, which is just around the corner. We hope to see many of you there. We have decided this year, in the interest of everyone's safety and for public health reasons, that we'll be conducting our summit virtually. We're excited to get everybody together, and we're excited to help provide you with all of the tools you need to have a successful legislative visit and to really have an impact on arts funding in the state. So below there, again, you'll see the link. I will also go ahead and post it in the comment section of this video once we wrap, so that you'll have it at your fingertips. Do be sure to register, tell all of your friends to register, and let's make a difference. So with that, I think we're going to talk a little bit, Ann, I think, about the structure of the Arts Advocacy Summit this year. Historically, we have done our Texas Arts Advocacy Day on one jam-packed, amazing day of advocacy where we get together, we do all of our training, we have our legislative visits, and then we all get together to celebrate our successes. Just due to the nature of the way the world is right now, we have decided this year to spread it out over 3 days. And I'll throw it back to you, Ian, to talk a little bit about step one, which we have titled It All Starts With You. So go ahead, Ann.
All right, thanks. So step one, our introductory morning on Tuesday, January 26th from 9 a.m. to 10:30. And that really is an introduction to the summit. It's an overview of why it is so important for us to take action and to meet with our legislators and their staff. I will repeat that meeting with staff is often what we're able to do, and the role that the staff play is really critical in developing a relationship with staff as well as our legislators. So learning a little bit about what is the process for setting up meetings is very different this year than it was 2 years ago and has historically been. These will largely be Zoom meetings. They might be some social distancing meetings, but we'll be training you on trying to find and secure advocates to reach all 181 of our legislative districts, 150 House districts, and 31 Senate districts. We will be assigning captains to each one of those districts. You may or you may find yourself not being a captain, but we will keep you apprised when you register at that Eventbrite. It is free to attend, and when you register, you will be putting in your Senate and your House districts. And you have a link that you can look who your representative and your senator is. We'll be putting you into our database, and you will be hearing back from us regarding who will be your captain, and more information around how those meetings will be scheduled. How do you run a meeting? What's the basic sort of protocol for doing a meeting with your legislator and their staff? How you approach talking about your issues. Chris will be talking in a minute about step 2, and that's when we'll be giving you the sort of information dump about all of the different issues that we will be dealing with our legislators and our legislative agenda. So how do you approach that conversation? How do you give people voice? How do you listen to your representative as well and hear back from them? And how do you sort of go over your issues, and then what sort of leave behind and follow up do you have after that? And after that introduction, we're going to be having a panel of journalists, multiple journalists joining us, giving us an overview on how we as individuals and advocates in the arts and culture sector and as advocates can reach out to our media, our local radio stations, our local print news, our local online news, write op-ed pieces, do letters to the editors, telling your stories about why the arts are so important, and priming people and getting them ready for Arts Advocacy Summit again this year. So January 26th, step 1, we've left 2 weeks before our next step, which Chris is going to talk about right now. That 2 weeks is sometimes about how long it takes to set up a meeting. You often go back and forth to schedule a meeting. So by the time you're ready for step 2, which is on Tuesday, February 9th, then you'll be getting from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. We'll be having a series of programs, lots of different speakers, a lot of energy, and then sending you off to your virtual meetings. So that's step 2. So I'm going to turn this back over to Chris to break down a little bit what's going to happen on that special day. That's our jam.
Absolutely. Yeah, step 1, obviously, it all starts with you. That's where, again, you'll be getting all the information you need to move forward in scheduling your visits. After that 2-week period where we'll be busy doing all of that, we come together for what I call step 2, which is telling your story. And obviously step 2 is probably my favorite piece because that is where we get to do the meat and potatoes of the work of advocacy. So we'll be coming together from 9 to noon on February the 9th. And what we'll be doing, as Ann said, it will be peppered with some really fun art breaks. We're going to be hearing from a keynote speaker. Also, we'll be hearing from a number of experts in their field. Many of our issues are directly related to hotel occupancy tax and the Texas Commission on the Arts, and who better to hear from? From the head of the Texas Commission on the Arts. We'll also be hearing from the head of the Texas Hotel Lodging Association, Scott Josloff, and we are in the works right now of trying to partner with Texas Municipal League to see if we can have some representation there as well. And obviously the gold mine that is our lobbyist, Shannon Gangerty, she is just a powerhouse, and she'll be there to provide us with some guidance as well. Once we get through that amazing training and we get to enjoy some art and we get all excited to do it, we'll then be going off to our virtual meetings on the 9th. And that is probably the most important piece of this whole puzzle, is actually meeting with our legislators, telling our story and empowering the arts community to take the space they deserve for being such an important piece of our community, and that we are vital to the health of our community, and that we need and we deserve the resources required to operate. From there, we'll move on to step 3, which is also pivotal, which is what we call the follow-up phase. And if you want to talk a little bit about that, that will be held on February the 11th, 2 days later. And we'll get together to do a little bit of follow-up and a little bit of celebration, we hope.
So step 3 is our happy hour and a review session, as Chris just said. And historically, we've been together in person and raised a toast, and this time it will be virtual, but it will be an opportunity also to share specific questions that maybe you experienced in your legislative visits, whether there were trends to the conversation, whether there were challenges, whether there were questions that your legislator had that you need to follow up on, and you want to know what's the answer, how do I find the answers for these? So that's a really good opportunity for us to convene again. We hope that's a large gathering and a substantive one, and we'll also have a formal way for you to complete a survey when it's over, so that we know how your meeting went, who was present, again, what sort of questions that they had. Really important to follow up with a legislator who has a question, or a staff person who has a question, to be able to show that you're attentive to the issues, and that could be a make or break item that a legislator has to really try to understand some of the issues that we're working on better. So that is, and then of course, setting the stage for, what does come next after a legislative visit. It's not a one-off. What that really should be, if you know your legislators already, that's great. If you don't, and this is the first opportunity, it's really a great opportunity to plant the seed that you know who they are and that they know who you are. And you should be putting your legislators, their social media handles, you should be following them, you should be signing up for their newsletters, you should learn more about them to find out whether they have an arts background or not. And you should make sure that they're on your mailing list, so that if you're an arts organization or an artist too, you have shows, you have performances, that they're hearing about that. They may not be showing up every time, but that at least they see the depth and breadth of the work that's happening in their district. You're the controller there, in the sense that you are the voter, you are the person who takes part in the decision making as to who your elected officials are. So this is a really important step. It's not over with just the meeting, that hopefully is a relationship that goes over time. Also, one sort of quick wrap up thing is there's something called TLO, Texas Legislature Online. And it's a great resource. Go there, Google it and look it up and sign up to follow your legislators. You can follow bills. You can type in hotel occupancy tax as an indicator, and you can sign up for notices to get notices about arts and culture issues. Or if you want to find out what your legislator is actually doing, what committee they're on, what action they're taking, it's a great resource. It's free, tlo.gov. Google it, sign up for free. And it's, again, just one more way to keep up with what is happening in the legislature. So go ahead, Chris.
I would also say, and I know we're wrapping up here, but I would also say, it came to mind just now as I was thinking about it. Step 3 is often a very celebratory thing for us, getting together and being excited. The reason I really appreciate that we're looking at this from more of a follow-up perspective this year is that we all well know, as members of the arts community, what unprecedented times and challenges we're facing. And if this is your first opportunity to meet your legislator, it's a great opportunity for you to tell your story and to really lay out the struggles that we've all felt and the struggles that we continue to feel. And we know that the recovery from COVID is not going to happen overnight. And in our industry in particular, we know that there's going to be lasting effects, and there are going to be needs from our sector that are unlike other sectors as we move into a period of recovery in what I like to call the post-COVIDian era. As we start to do that, this follow-up becomes very important, because fostering a lasting, good relationship with those people who make pivotal decisions around the allocation of public resources couldn't be more important than it is today for the arts community. So yes, there is a feeling of accomplishment after this Arts Advocacy Summit, where it will feel very good to have our voices heard. It's imperative and vital that we get our voices heard, but it's also really a springboard for the work to come. And I think that this is a unique opportunity for us all to come together and attack that from a very united front. So I really hope that everyone takes the time this year. It is a little bit more challenging to make the time to be on these Zoom meetings. I think we all understand that there is coronavirus fatigue, that there is Zoom fatigue, but as advocates for the arts and as people who think that the arts matter in our community, and I know many of you do, this couldn't be a more exciting and important opportunity for us all to come together. So it's a very positive thing, but it's also a vital thing to the future for all of us.
Thank you, Chris. So just to wrap up for today, please go and check out the 2 links that we provided. One, the resources on our homepage, the COVID-19 resources, specifically around this recent federal action. See if you are eligible for those dollars. Follow up and let us know if you have any questions. And then the next thing is our Eventbrite registration. It is free. Go ahead and register because that's important information we need to find out which legislative districts you live in and work in. Want to send you off to meetings in both the districts if you live and work in different districts. And then next Wednesday at 4 o'clock on our weekly Wednesday Arts Advocacy Update, Shannon Gangerty, our lobbyist, will join us for an important update on what is happening next Monday. Next Monday, the state comptroller, Glenn Hagar, will be releasing the anticipated budget report, which will be of huge importance for all of us, both our legislators as well as public, as well as arts advocates, on the state of the state's budget and what those implications are for funding. Knowing that the state is being hard hit by the COVID pandemic, the reduction in sales tax, the reduction in oil and gas, we know the budget's going to be tighter than ever, and that we need to be prepared with our own reasons and discussion points around why the arts are so important to be part of that economy moving forward. So we all have our work cut out for us. We hope we see you on step 1, step 2, and step 3 of our summit. We will work to make them as informative and engaging as possible. Great speakers, some breaks in there to break up the Zoom, and we really look forward to seeing you there, and we look forward to seeing you this next Wednesday at 4 o'clock as well. So all right. Without further ado, be safe, stay healthy, wear a mask, stay well. We need you, and we need the arts to help us heal ourselves, our families, our communities. And so stay well. Thank you.
All right. Have a great weekend, everybody. And do look out. I will post both of those links in the comment section of this video, and we can't wait to see you next week. Take care.
Thank you.